It all came to a head about 8 months ago, Gavin.
Yeah.
And he had an altercation with his mother and got aggressive and ended up in jail.
There was a hotel, a tiling factory, a railway station. The government put a power pole out right at the front of my window that made a lot of noise. So I had sleepless nights for a long time. I went into hospital. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
I felt there was just nothing worth living for, and that's a horrible, horrible place to be. I know logically you probably shouldn't feel that way, but I also understand what it feels like when you do.
When you've got temper, you are not calm and level. You've either got resentment towards your outer environment or you're angry at yourself. And when I'm ill, I'm basically angry at myself. Guilt, self-reproachment, just self-blame, all that type of stuff.
There's people I know in Geraldton that have put in wheat crops last year that cost well over $1 million, and they never picked a grain of wheat.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all know that men tend to not talk about it, so it's I just got to lift the lid off that if you want to just hang on.
Yeah, there's lots of stress on marriages, just all relationships all around, and you've got to try and cope with that somehow. So, situations like this where you sort of come together over food and some music and doing something really positive, you just get a chance to talk about it in a natural sort of way, and anything like that is a really positive thing in the context of feeling, low.
We call it in the group I'm with lowered feelings, which people always call as depression. You're not really linked into what's going on, and when you're on medication, that's inclined to do that to you as well, and it's inclined to suppress your feelings and make you numbed. And so when I'm relating to people like you or to John or to Gavin, you're not really there, if you like.
I had 25 admissions to these hospitals, but just what it was a noise pollution that was causing the anxiety. It just got so bad that I relied so much on medication, and the anxiety of it would turn into paranoia.
What really got me there, I think, was probably, again, not just one thing, it was a number of things. It was probably many years of perhaps working too hard, not having enough time to relax and think about things that were good for me rather than what I thought I had to do. And I guess the culmination of all that was when me and my ex-wife separated, and all of a sudden all those things I thought I was working towards were not even really there anymore. But the depression certainly was, and it got a lot worse after that.
From the time Gavin's been about 10, we've had issues, and that's when we first identified there were problems. And Gavin did get diagnosed ADHD, OCD when he was about 10 years old. Tourette and Tourette's. Gavin did start smoking a bit of pot and whatever at 13, which we weren't aware of at the time.
I was pretty unhappy with the world, really, whinged and carried on, and how to sort of settle that within myself. I went for a cycle trip across Australia, and I just found a way out there how to ease my pain in life. Coming back, and Brian Burdick in 1993 had written a report about mental health in Australia, and I felt I could put my shoulder to the wheel and do something what he was trying to say. People are going to get in and try and help this. It's not just a government problem, it's a community problem as well.
Bernard and I had a connection with one another, and it's probably been over 2 or 3 years now. I initially went to Ireland. Brendan Hone, who asked me to come over and have a discussion with him about doing something in his area, because the suicide rate in his area was really high. In doing that, I met Bernard, Kelly and the Kelly family.
You said we were going for a 4-hour walk.
Yes.
And we were going to talk to each other about our health issues.
Yeah.
And I'd never known anyone to say that to me before.
When I'm talking to a patient about getting involved with a recreation program, I'm telling them that exercise can help in a range of different ways. And I think the Give It a Go recreation offers a range of different possibilities. You get a mixture of exercise, socialisation and being in nature, and I think all three of those elements are important in mental health.
When we went away, it was a combination of things, just going on walks, spending time listening to music. A couple of the people that came along were musicians and they were playing music and singing, enjoying some good food, but mainly walking and just getting out and about and enjoying the outdoors and taking a bit of fresh air away from the noises of city pressures and traffic lights and hassles and stresses and all those things, just going somewhere away from that.
It's great seeing somebody like Gus who's made a big change. He's gone from being down in the dumps and really scraping the bottom of human experience really, and then come back to being fully alive again. And it's lovely to see him as a friend coming back to life really.
Through my sister, I met John. She suggested that I should go out with John and go bushwalking. So I thought, well, I'd love to take on something like that rather than just vegetating in hospitals.
So there was the bushwalking, and I know you were pretty keen on the bushwalking.
It's good to be in the bush.
And yeah, and why is the bush like? Why do you like the bush? Like you had an option this
being
weekend.
Stuck in the house all the time and you know, being in the city and that.
Yeah.
Being around drink too.
Coming here for the weekend also gives your dad a break.
This actual program's been fantastic for him because he just loves nature and being out in the outdoors and the horse riding and just camping out. He just really looks forward to it, and there's not a lot of things he does look forward to, but this is definitely one of it, and it's been a blessing for us really.
When you're on the horse at that time, all that is kicked off, if you like, not say kicked off, but thrown off, and you just have to say, well, I have to concentrate here, you know, and that gives you a feeling of wellness. So for me, it teaches me what it is to be well again. You get a sort of a buzz, but you realise that there's more to life. There's more. You can look beyond it and say to yourself, well, you know, maybe if I took a bit of canoeing up, or if I went and did dancing. Dancing's great too. Maybe I can connect again into that again. It's, you know, you become aware that you're doped, basically, that you're not well, and you realise there's a higher level to jump to, and it gives you hope and it gives you a goal.
I've seen the benefits that this program, Give It a Go Recreation, has brought to people like Bernard and Gus and Gavin and Mike, and I hope that you'll be prepared to give it a go and contribute to the expansion of this program to reach other people and bring the hope of recovery to them. It's fully tax deductible, so how about contacting John Reardon?